Hello friends, welcome to this presentation. The topic of this presentation is pipe wall thickness calculation as per ASME 31.3. 31.3 is the process piping code and we'll look into many things related to pipe wall thickness. Now agenda of this presentation is, as we have discussed, pipe wall thickness calculation. Before that we'll look into what is pipe. We'll try to understand what is pipe schedule, relationship between outer inner diameters with respect to pipe wall thickness, then why minimum thickness is always desirable. Okay, then we'll go into details, few of the standards, for example 36.10, that is dimensional standard for carbon steel and stainless steel. We'll try to understand what is the this standard is all about and what is the total scope covered in this standard. Okay, then we'll go into actual calculations for pipe wall thickness as per 31.3. We'll look into class conditions and line conditions both, but before starting actual calculations we'll look into what are the various inputs which are required to start the calculation. Okay, from where we get this input. Okay, what is the starting point, what is the initial information available before starting the pipe wall thickness, then what are the various ASTM material standards which we need to refer while calculating all these pipe calculations, then what is PT rating. Okay, we'll discuss in detail what is PT rating concept and how it is useful while calculating the pipe wall thickness. Okay, this is very important concept without which this calculation we cannot do. So we'll look into it in detail. Then we'll try to understand allowable stresses, which is very important factor while calculating the pipe wall thickness. We'll go into our engineering days where we used to study stress strain curve. We'll look into it just to identify how these tensile strength and yield strength are important with respect to allowable stress. Okay, all these things are very basic things which we really need to know before calculating the pipe wall thickness. So we'll look into few of the unit system while calculating the thickness. We need to change some units, so we look into all the unit system which all the units, all the codes and standards are referring to while calculating the wall thickness. Then we'll, after studying all these factors, we'll study one actual pipe thickness for 4-inch carbon steel pipe. We'll actually calculate the pipe thickness for that considering all these factors. Okay, then we'll try to understand how line conditions and class conditions are different and how it is important to know both of the conditions. So this is all about pipe wall thickness calculation. Whatever things are required to calculate pipe wall thickness we'll try to cover in this presentation. So let us start with what is pipe. So what is pipe? Pipe is like our nervous system in our body. Piping is the nervous system of any oil and gas refinery, any chemical industry. This is a nervous system for that industry. So let us understand, pipe is a hollow tube with round cross section to facilitate flow of the product. Okay, and something is flowing through it. It may be fluid, gas or pellets. So for that purpose, to allow that flow, we need to use the pipe. Pipe is identified as NPS, nominal pipe size. So how we designate it with respect to NPS, we'll come to know in detail. Now wall thickness is defined by schedule number. Okay, if you see, this is outer diameter, the green one, OD, ID is blue one, and red one is nominal. So nominal is a designation. We identify the pipe with respect to nominal pipe size. Okay, we look into details for this how it is identified. Now as if we compare it with tube, it is always specified as OD, only outer diameter. Okay, tube wall thickness is expressed into BWG standards. Okay, because its thickness is very less as compared to pipe, so we cannot go for threaded tubes. Okay, this is a major difference. These thinner walls are there for tube, we cannot go for threaded system. Tubes are generally used for heat exchanger, instrument lines and small interconnections on equipment such as compressor, boiler, etc. So this is a major application of tubes, and pipes are identified as nominated as NPS. Now to understand the OD, ID and nominal pipe size, we need to look into few of the dimensional standards. Okay, it is very difficult to remember all the NP NPS, ID, OD for individual pipe size. So there are few standard 36.10 for welded and seamless wrought steel, 36.19 for stainless steel. So we need to refer these two standards to get all the dimensional details. We'll look into detail for these standards, so to identify how we can use the standard to get the dimensional details. If you see, this is pipe schedule. To understand pipe, we need to understand pipe schedule also. What is pipe schedule? If you see here, this is OD, okay, ID. Now OD minus ID is the pipe thickness. So pipe thickness we always designate as schedule number. There are total 11 schedule for individual size, individual thickness, okay, 5, 10, 20. These are the schedule numbers which represent the wall thickness. Okay, now to sustain the fluid pressure, as we have discussed, in pipe fluid is flowing, so there is some pressure. To sustain that fluid pressure, pipe must be strong enough to perform its intended duty without failure. Okay, that is why this thickness is required. Now more thickness, more will be the cost. So we need to optimize this thing. So that is the main agenda of this presentation. We are going to calculate the minimum required thickness considering all the allowances and all. But first we need to understand what is OD, what is ID, what is thickness. Now for given NPS, okay, now this is 6-inch NPS. OD remains fixed, okay, outer diameter will remain fixed. This is standard thing. For 6-inch, OD will be fixed. We are not going to change the OD. Okay, now what is going to change? The thickness. If internal the thickness is increasing, internal diameter will start decreasing. Okay, this is common thing. As the schedule number is increasing, that means wall thickness is increasing, internal diameter is decreasing. So with the increase in thickness, the strength also increases, but its ID decreases. As the thickness increases, the strength of the pipe will start increasing, but the ID of the pipe will start decreasing. So as the thickness increases, more thickness, less ID, more weight will be there. More weight means more metal. More metal means more cost. So more thickness is leading us to more cost. So we need to optimize the cost also. So cost and thickness we need to optimize. This is the whole agenda of this presentation. So it is very important to consider minimum thickness of the pipe as per procurement point of view. Okay, so we need to procure optimum size as well as at optimum cost. So that's why we need to calculate the minimum thickness. So OD, now if you see the OD of the pipe 14-inch or higher can easily be calculated. For example, 14-inch pipe, if you multiply it by 25.4, you will get the OD. So that is standard. But below that 14-inch, there is no correlation. You cannot multiply the size. For example, here you cannot multiply 6 into 25.4 and you cannot get the OD. So this is a major thing. That's why we need to refer these two standards, 36.10 for carbon steel and 36.19 for stainless steel. This gives us the dimensional details for each and every size. Okay, we'll look into detail of both these standards to get the dimensional details, but we need to understand the nominal size, outer size, ID and thickness. Okay, below 14-inch there is no relation between nominal size versus inches or anything. We need to refer these standards or we need to remember all these dimensions. Okay, so it is always better to refer standard rather than remembering all these dimensions. So if you see, now let us look into 36.10. What is the total scope and how this dimensional standard is useful. Okay, now first let us see the definition of this standard. First, it covers the standardization of dimensions of welded seamless wrought steel pipe for high or low temperature and pressures. So majorly it covers the dimensions. Okay, total scope, what is there in the standard? Pipe sizes, material, inside and outside diameters. Okay, this is the major thing which we need to refer for this all these standards. Wall thickness, weights, wall thickness designations, wall thickness selection. Now this is something which we need to remember. Okay, this is very important. We'll look into in this presentation how this standard is useful to calculate the to select the final wall thickness. First, we need to understand what is there in this standard. Okay, if you see here, this is a table taken from 16.36.10 below 14 inch. Okay, this is the portion which we have taken from 36.10 above 14 inch. So we have taken an example of 16 inch and 2 inch. This is below 14, this is above 14. So for below 14, as we have discussed, there is no correlation between OD and nominal size. Okay, these are in inches, feet, and these are in SI units. So if you see for 2 inch, 60.3 is OD. Okay, we have to refer this standard to get the OD, or you need to remember 60.3, and DN is 50. Okay, now this is wall thickness. This is something which we are going to calculate in this presentation in detail, and we'll come to this. This is weight. Okay, kg per meter, it is also mentioned in this standard. So these are the things which are there in this standard, along with very important thing, which is schedule number. This is something which is used to standardize the pipe thickness, which is accepted globally and available in the market based on these designation. So if you see NPS 2-inch line 5 schedule, thickness will be 1.65. This is standard, and weight will be this. Okay, above 14 inch we can easily calculate 16 into 25.4, you will get the OD. So it is very easy to remember or calculate. Along with this, we are getting thickness here, wall thickness. Okay, this will come discuss in detail in next slide. These are something which we need to refer here. Wall thickness, how we are reaching up to this point, and how we are going to select the schedule number. This is our total agenda of this presentation when we are calculating the wall thickness. Now in this slide we are understanding what is given in this standard, what is the total scope, what are the various things, and how we are going to calculate the schedule number for our requirement based on our requirement project specifications. This is what we are going to understand in the next slide. Here the dimensional standard of pipe is described for products covering ASTM specification. So 36.10 covers all the materials which are covered in ASTM specification. So all the materials which are covered here are, we can get the dimensional details from this standard. A thickness shall be selected from table 1 of this to suit the value computed to fulfill the conditions for which pipe is desired. So this is our main agenda for next slides. How we are reaching up to the schedule number. Okay, when we are going to refer this standard while calculating the, after calculating the minimum required thickness. So this is all about 36.10. These are all the dimensions which are available for each and every size. OD, wall thickness, plane weight, this is customary units, these are SI units. So if you see here, this is the basic formula to calculate the minimum wall thickness. Okay, now we need to really understand this formula. What are the various items in this formula? What are the various inputs required to get up to these values and to finally calculate this? Okay, so now let us first understand what are the various things we require to calculate the minimum pipe thickness. Okay, this is the basic formula given in 36.31.3 code. Okay, P is internal pressure, internal design pressure. Whole story is revolving around this. Okay, we'll try to know from where we are getting this. Nobody will tell you ki, okay, for this pressure you calculate the thickness. This is not a case. We need to understand what is PT rating, how allowables are there, how codes are guiding us. So everything we need to understand, which we are going to cover now. OD, we are going to get it from 36.10 or 36.19. Allowable stress, we'll look into detail for this factor, how we are going to get this value from 31.3 code and table this. Okay, now these are three factors which we need to refer. 31.3, these are the table number. It is very easy to get all these factors when we refer these tables. So we'll understand each and every point from to calculate the minimum wall thickness. Now look at the basic input document first. Before starting all this, we need something from which we'll get the initial information, so that is fluid list. Fluid list is something which we receive from process and metallurgy, based on which we start our calculations. Otherwise we cannot think about anything. We don't have any information regarding P, D, S, E, W, P, Y. Nothing will, we cannot start calculating until unless we get the fluid list. Now what are the various things which are available in fluid list? One is service, design pressure, design temperature. This is not the pressure which we are going to use for calculating this. This is something which are the process condition given by process in fluid list to piping, so that we can start developing our piping specification. PMSV based start developing once we get this fluid list. Okay, so we are getting design pressure and temperature. Process is giving us the range, okay, of pressure and temperature. Then metallurgy, what kind of material we are going to use. Class rating, which we are going to discuss in detail in next slide when we discuss PT rating. Then size, for particular size and particular material we have to calculate the pipe thickness. Okay, so that information also we receive from here. And last one is corrosion allowance. Corrosion allowance is something which is given in fluid list, which is very important in calculating the minimum thickness. Okay, now let us understand what are the various input we require to calculate the thickness. Okay, material of the pipe, as we have discussed, we are going to get it from fluid list. Process input, it is the process input and we'll get from fluid list. Now from material we are getting the allowable stresses from 31.3. okay, this is also known as stress value. Then design pressure and temperature. Okay, this also we are going to get from fluid list. This is process input, and we are going to discuss in detail how we are going to get the pressure P here from PT rating, what is PT rating and how it is related to wall thickness. We are going to discuss here in this presentation. From where we are going to get 16.5, we have to refer this standard to get the actual values P, and also we will try to understand the relation between pressure and temperature with respect to 16.5. okay, this is again used to get the allowable stress value for particular material. Okay, and we'll get the internal pressure bearing capability. So we'll discuss in detail the PT rating. Then the size of the pipe will be given here for what are the various sizes for which we have to calculate the minimum thickness. Again from fluid list we have to refer that. Then type of pipe. Now we have seamless and welded pipe. This is something which we'll get in basic engineering part, maybe from client side. They decide whether we have to use seamless or welded. Up to 12-inch or 14-inch we go for seamless. After that, for higher sizes, seamless pipe will be very costly, so most of the time we go for welded, or based on client condition, client requirements, climate conditions, fluid service conditions, that can be decided. Okay, generally up to 14-inch or 12-inch we go for seamless. For higher sizes we go for welded. This is the cheaper part. Welded for higher sizes, if we go for seamless it will be very costly. So particular size is decided in design basis, or we get this information from client up to what size we have to go for seamless, or up to what size we have to go for welded. So this is something which is decided by the client and we get it in the basic engineering part. Now this is corrosion allowance. This is very important. Corrosion allowance is something which we get from fluid list, from process. Now what is the basis of this corrosion allowance? This is very interesting part. In every design basis we have to mention the project lifespan, whether it is for 20 years, 25 years, 30 years. So project lifespan is decided. Okay, that is the basis for process to decide the corrosion allowance. For example, if we are going for 25 years of life cycle of a project, we need to add corrosion allowance. For example, 3 mm we add into pipe thickness, so that if corrosion occurs, and how much pipe will be eroded per year only because of corrosion. So that has to be calculated, and that will be deciding factor to of project life. Okay, and that will be given in the fluid list. So this is the basic input which we get from fluid list, and we'll use to calculate the pipe thickness. Then mill tolerance. Mill tolerance means, mill means the factory where the pipe is manufactured. Now suppose you need 10 pipe thickness. Okay, manufacturer may make a mistake, so up to 12.5% allowance tolerance is there, always there, so that even if manufacturer makes a mistake, that can be tolerated. So tolerance for variation in the thickness of the pipe from nominal thickness. Okay, this is a tolerance. If you calculate 10 so 12.5% below 10 and above 10 are tolerated. This tolerance is given to mill factory for their insufficient accuracy to produce pipe wall thickness exactly as the required. Okay, exact thickness is very difficult to maintain throughout the pipe. So somewhere it may decrease a little bit and somewhere it may increase a little bit, so that little bit cannot be more than 12.5%, and that is called mill tolerance. Okay, as we have discussed, these are the three factors which are used here, and we'll get from these tables. We'll discuss in detail when we discuss the calculations. So these are the basic inputs which are required to calculate the thickness. These are the points from where we are going to get this information, and basic document will be the fluid list. So once we get the fluid list, we know temperature, pressure, metallurgy, class, rating, size, and we can start working on minimum calculation thickness. Okay, so let us see how we are going to use these things and how we are going to implement to calculate the wall thickness. Now, before proceeding, let us see the correlation between various ASTM standards. Okay, we'll not spend much time on this, but we'll try to cover the basic. If you see, there is a table in 31.3 which is piping code, table A1. Okay, this is allowable stresses are given for individual material. Okay, if you see material, spec number, then grade, unit, UNS, then class, size. Okay, so here we are getting tensile strength, yield strength, and the value against each and every temperature. So if you see, code itself indicates carbon steel pipe, plates, bars, shapes. We need to refer, there are so many other, I've taken only a snapshot of this code. There are few material carbon under carbon steel. Against these material we have to go for few material which will be used in forging, which will be used in casting. So this is the very first step where we are going to use this. Okay, to understand, for example, there is a material A106, okay, that is under carbon steel in this code itself. So against that we can go for these forging material. Okay, for example, A105, we need to understand the temperature range, okay, the grade and its composition. We need to match with A106, then we go for A105. Similarly, for casting also, we need to understand which material we have to choose. Okay, so under carbon steel, we are getting a material list for forging and casting in 31.3 under table A10, A-1. Okay, now this is something which is given in 16.5. Again, same thing, there is a material group 1.1 which belongs to carbon steel material. Against carbon steel material, against various grades are there, we have a list of forging materials, material which is used for forging, and material which is used for casting, and plates for welded pipes. So this is something which is given in 16.5. This is something which is given in 31.3 code. If you don't know anything, you are doing the first time, then starting point is always 31.3. From there only we'll get the reference, and we have getting the list of material for forging, casting, and plates in 16.5. Okay, so this is something which material engineer has to go into details. Okay, so if you see in this table, if you select carbon steel A106, its forging material is A105. casting is 216, plate is 672. Okay, this is something which a material engineer prepare while preparing the piping specs. So this is the starting point 31.3. We are getting the list where all the materials are listed against each carbon steel, stainless steel, allowable steel. For example, LTS A333 is a base material. For forging we go for 350. Okay, for casting we go for this one, plate we go for 671. So this way we need to know which material we are going against a particular base material under forging or casting or plate. Okay, so this is very important thing where these ASTM standards are interrelated. Okay, for example, for A106, which is base material carbon steel, we have to go for flange A105 when we need to refer the PT rating. Okay, once we are talking about carbon steel material, we need to check the PT rating. We need to know first whether we need to which ASTM standard we need to refer. We should know this. Then only we'll reach up to PT rating. Okay. For example, here we are going to get the PT rating details for carbon steel. So we are referring A105 material in 16.5 standard. We'll get the PT rating for this. So this is something which we need to know how we are interrelating the piping material, base material with respect to forging, casting and plates. Then only we'll get up to the PT rating table. So now let us start understanding allowable stresses. We need to go back to our engineering days where we used to study the stress strain curve. Okay, we'll go into few details. For example, the stress and strain. This O to A, then A to B, B to C, D, E. Okay, this is the stress strain curve. This is the basis of calculating the allowable stress. Now first we have to understand what it is all about. Stress and strain. When we are stretching something, there will be a tensile strength. Okay, D is the point of tensile strength of any material. B is a point of yield strength. Okay, we can stretch something up to A, it will have no impact on the material. After that, some elasticity will be there. It may come back to its original, it may not. Okay, after B, it will never come back to its original position, but after D, it will fail. Material will start fracturing. Fracture will be there. So if you see, tensile strength and yield strength are both measures of material resistance to failure. How it is creating the resistance to failure either by deformation or by fracture. Up to this point, deformation is there. Up to this point, fracture will be there. So this is the really important factor. We need to relate this thing with our allowable stresses. First we need to understand the definition, what is tensile strength and what is yield strength. So yield strength of a material represents the stress beyond which deformation is plastic. Beyond this point, deformation will be plastic. It will never come back to its original position. Any deformation that occurs as a result of stress higher than yield strength is permanent. Okay, tensile strength, maximum load that a material can support without fracture. Up to this, it is a maximum load. After that, it will be fracture will start occurring. So this is all about tensile strength and yield strength. Now, what is allowable stress? Allowable stress is nothing. It is just a safety of factor with respect to yield strength. Now we don't want our piping material or any material to fail while operating under any kind of pressure. We don't want any pipe, any material to fail. So there will be many factor of safety. Okay, so allowable stress is a kind of factor of safety. It is the maximum stress, tensile, compressive or bending that is allowed to be applied on a structural material. The maximum force per unit area may be safely applied to a solid. So whatever allowable stresses are there, that should be less than yield strength. This is the first agenda. Okay, now let us relate tensile stress, tensile strength, yield strength, and allowable stress with respect to 31.3. If you see, if you take a particular material A106 grade B, okay, if you come here, this is the first thing which is given in the code, tensile and yield. So 60 is the tensile strength in KSI unit and 35 is the yield strength. If you see, this is the maximum where this ductile nature will start. Okay, after B, yield strength up to D, tensile strength. So we want our material to stay within this range. So yield is 20, 35. Okay, so all the allowable stresses are less than that. Okay, so we are not going beyond certain value, so that there is no yield failure, no tensile failure, no rupture. So all this is allowable stress is nothing but a factor of safety with respect to yield strength. Okay, we look into further detail how what code is saying all about allowable stresses with respect to tensile and yield strength. If you see, this is something which is written in the code 31.3 3023.2D. This is a section where these three rules are written. Now let us understand how this allowable stress is related to tensile strength and yield strength, and what factor of safety is there with respect to actual code. Okay, so now as we have discussed, tensile strength and yield strength are given for a particular material, for example 60 and 35. Okay, 60 is tensile strength, 35 is a yield strength. Now as per code, what code is saying, lower of 1/3 of tensile strength at room temperature and 1/3 of tensile strength, sorry, 2/3 of yield strength. Whatever is minimum out of this will be our basis. Okay, now if you see for 106, yield strength is 35, tensile is 60. So 1/3 of tensile, that is 60, is 20, and 2/3 of 35, which is 23.3. So again this is lower than this, so we are referring this only. So 20 is the highest one. Okay, we are not going beyond 20. 20 is the highest value, allowable value. We are not going below that, above that. Okay, so this is first rule for carbon steel pipes. For stainless steel, what they are saying, 2/3 of yield strength or 90% of yield strength, whichever is minimum, will be our basis. If you see here for stainless steel 312, 70 is tensile and 25 is the yield. So 2/3 of yield is 16. 90% of yield is 22.7. So 16.7 is the minimum we are going. Okay, above that we are not using any allowable. All are below that. Okay, so we are staying below yield strength always. So this is kind of a safe factor of safety which is always there when we are referring the allowable stresses. If you see the curve here, okay, if you refer this one only, 20 20 20 up to 300, then it is starting decreasing, then there is a drastic decrease. Okay, so this is the curve. 20 it is there up to 300, after that it is slightly decreasing 19.9, then it will, there is a steep curve. Okay, this portion here, elastic limit finishes and creep stresses starts. So after that there is a steep curve, so very less allowable stresses up to after this temperature. So this is kind of stable up to certain point. There are no change in mechanical chemical properties in the material. After that there will be elastic steep curve will be there, and after this elastic limit finishes and creep started. So again a very steep curve. So this is how it is related. This is something which is given in the code. 1/3 tensile, 2/3 of yield for carbon steel, 2/3 of yield, 90% of yield for stainless steel. Whichever is minimum will be our basis here for allowable stresses. Okay, these are in KSI unit. We can get similar values for megapascal also in same 31.3 code. So these are the very important tables. This is something which we really need to understand. We are staying below yield stress always, so that factor of safety is always there. So what kind of factor of safety is here? It is 3. Okay, 60 versus 20, factor of safety is 3. Here factor of safety is 1.5. Okay, so this kind of factor of safety are always there when we are calculating the pipe thicknesses. So this is something which we really need to know about allowable stresses when we start referring in 31.3. Pressure temperature rating. We really need to understand what is PT rating when we are discussing about pipe thickness calculation, how it is important and how we are going to get the exact value of P in calculating the wall thickness, pipe wall thickness. Now let us understand what is pipe pressure temperature rating. Pressure temperature rating is the maximum allowable non-shock gauge pressure at specific temperature for a given material. Okay, this will be different. There will be a range pressure and temperatures against each and every single given material. Now what is this? What is it? Is nothing but ability of a material, to handle the stresses. Okay, we have discussed in last slide 31.3. There is a table for allowable stress values which are already given in code. That allowable stresses are nothing but ability of a material to handle the stresses at a given temperature. Okay, this we need to really understand. This is ability of a material to withstand the stresses at a given temperature. This is basic definition, and same is for temperature rating. Okay, piping materials such as carbon steel, stainless steel, arable steels have different mechanical and chemical properties. This is a basis of any material. There will be some mechanical and chemical property. Same material can handle different amount of stress at different temperature. As temperature increases or decreases, its ability will change. So that is the basic. With respect to a particular temperature of a given material, its ability to handle the particular stress are different. Based on ability of material to handle the stresses at a given temperature, 31.3 has developed a maximum allowable stresses which we discussed in detail in last slide at a particular temperature. It established the basis to calculate the adequate wall thickness, which is our main agenda of this video, where we are going to calculate the wall thickness. We need to really understand how things are coming into picture. So this is the basis to calculate the wall thickness. Now, pressure rating is a safe working or maximum operating pressure with respect to working temperature. Okay, this is the basis of PT rating. This is the safe working and maximum operating pressure, which will be our basis to calculate the wall thickness. It depends on the stress strain characteristics which we discussed in the previous slide. It is available in different codes and standards. So we'll discuss various standards now, where we are going to get the pressure rating and how we are going to use that in calculating the wall thickness. Now, as we have discussed, pressure rating tables of ASME code provides a limit of maximum working pressure. How we are going to get the maximum working pressure, we are going to discuss here. Okay, for intermediate temperature, linear interpolation can be done. Now let us understand what is PT rating and how we have to refer the codes. Now, as we have discussed in previous slide, for a particular carbon steel, we have to refer the forging material of flange to get the PT rating table. This is given in 16.5, ASME 16.5. If you see, this is the temperature range, this is the class, and this is the maximum working pressure which a material can withstand. We are planning to design a material to withstand this one up to a particular temperature in a particular class. Okay, now if you see, with the increase in temperature, withstanding capability of material decreases. If you see, in a particular 150 class, the withstanding ability of material start decreasing as the temperature increases. With increase in pressure class rating, pressure capability increases. For a particular temperature, with increase in class, there is an increase in ability of material to withstand the pressure. Okay, so it is increasing at same temperature with increase in class. With the change in flange material pressure, temperature, pressure withstanding capability changes at a particular pressure class rating. So if you see, we have different classes which are given in the fluid list. These are the temperatures, temperature range where pressure capability is also given. Okay, so this is what we are going to use in calculating the pipe wall thickness for 150 rating up to particular temperature. So this is the maximum capability we are going to design. Okay, with increase in temperature, pressure is decreasing. So that means for higher pressure, thickness will be higher. So we have to go for higher value. We'll discuss in detail how we are going to select these values for particular calculating particular thickness. But we really need to understand with increase in temperature, values are decreasing. With at particular temperature, with increase in class, the capability of a material is increasing. Okay, so this is how PT rating is. PT rating tables are there in 16.5. We can get PT rating table for each and every table, every material, forging material. Wrenches are made in forging, so we need to refer the forging material, and we get the pressure at a particular temperature. Now, we have already discussed what is PT rating, how allowable stress we are going to get from 31.3, and what are allowable stresses. Now, while calculating minimum wall thickness, we need to relate both these. Okay, how we are going to do this? If you see, we have taken a three cases: carbon steel 150 rating, carbon steel 300 rating, carbon steel 600 rating. Okay, what we have done, we have taken these values, design pressure at particular temperature, which we are getting from 16.5, this table. This PT rating table we have taken for carbon steel A106, and for 150 class we have taken these pressures, working pressures, design pressure. So this is the maximum capability of a particular material at particular temperature. If you see 38 19.6, which is what we have taken here. So this is working, this is the value of P here of particular material. We are not getting from anywhere, we are going to get this value from PT rating table for a particular material. Okay, so we have listed down all the working pressure against each and every temperature for a particular rating. Similarly for 300, these are the values 51, 46 point. Okay, so these are the values which we have taken here. These are the design pressure, the pressure for particular temperature of a particular material, which that particular pipe is going to withstand, that is this value. Okay, so this is the maximum one. Now what we have taken here in 31.3 code, we have taken allowable value, okay, against particular temperature. This we have filled here. Okay, these are in degrees, this is in bar G, and this is megapascal. This is the value which we have taken directly from code 31.3, and this is the code which this is the value which we have taken from 16.5 from PT rating. Now here there is a very interesting fact. We are not going to take this value, we don't know how, which value for particular, for which working pressure, design pressure we need to design our pipe. Okay, so this is really very interesting thing. If you see here, T is directly proportional to P, which is this, these values. P T is inversely proportional to S, which is this value. So if we calculate P by S, okay, ability by allowable, P by S, okay, these are the values against each temperature. Okay, if you see, if P by S is more, okay, maximum P by S value will give the maximum minimum thickness required, which will be again safer and will be having the factor of safety. So we are going to calculate, we are going to take the basis P by S, whichever is maximum, that will be basis for calculation of pipe wall thickness. Okay, once we get this value, for example in fluid list we are getting a range, okay, up to 500, then we have to calculate all these, all values of P we have to take, all values of A we have to take, and whatever is the maximum will be the basis of calculating the minimum thickness. Okay, so out of this, if you take 17.7, this thickness will be less, but the fluid is flowing throughout this class and it will fail if these conditions comes. Okay, so we have to design it for the maximum worst condition, that is maximum P by S will be here. Okay, so we have to take 19.6 and 138 for the calculation. Similarly for 300 rating, if you see P by S value, it is coming higher here. So this may be the basis of calculation, 17.4 and 475, if in fluid list range is given up to 500 or 475. If it is given up to 350, okay, then maximum will be this one, so we have to take this one. If it is given up to 500, then maximum is coming here, so this will be our basis. 17.4 and 45 allowable stresses will be our basis to calculate the maximum but minimum thickness. Okay, so we have to calculate that maximum thickness which will withstand the complete range of working pressure. Okay, so this is the basis. Again here, if you see, if in for A106 600 class, we have, if in fluid list we have given a range of 500 degrees Celsius, then we have to calculate for all working pressures. The pipe should withstand all the working pressures listed here. So wherever the maximum ratio is coming, that should be considered for all these working pressures. So again we have to calculate the maximum one, and we have to take those bases for our P and S. Okay, so whatever will be the maximum will be will withstand all these pressures. So this is very important to note how we are going to select P value here, okay, and A value here. Now again we have discussed all these things, what are the various things which we are going to have with us to calculate the thickness, all these 10 parameters which we require in the starting, from where we are going to get these things, what are the bases, allowable stress, PT rating we have discussed in detail, and these value we are going to refer these tables and we'll get the direct values W, E and Y. Allowable stresses we have to take 13.1.3. This table we have discussed in detail. OD 36.10. Internal pressure we have to take it from PT rating. How we are going to get the P value we have already discussed in previous slide. So all these factors we have discussed in detail. What are the various things which are required to calculate the minimum wall thickness? Now again let us see how we can convert the units. Okay, unit conversion in 31.3 we have two tables, table A-1 and table A1M. Okay, so metric units are there, two tables are there, you can directly refer those table, or you can use this conversion factor when we can convert the KSI into megapascal. So this is the factor and we can convert these if you want, otherwise you can directly use A-1M table to get the values. So temperature also again Fahrenheit to Celsius we can convert. So this is something which we need to keep in mind while using the units. Whatever units we are going to use, we need to be uniformly maintained. Now we have already discussed all these factors which are required to calculate wall thickness. Now let us calculate actual thickness for 4-inch pipe. Okay, let us consider 31.3. The material will be A106 and we are going to take rating 150. Okay, so if you see, these are the allowable table which we have taken from 31.3. okay, carbon steel A106 grade B. Okay, these are the tensile and yield, and these are the allowable against each and every temperature. These temperatures are in degree Celsius. So what we have taken from PT rating table, here we have taken all these values here, okay, against each and every temperature. Again, from this table we have taken all these values for allowable stresses. These values we have taken from these three tables, and we have checked PS value, P by S value. This is maximum, so we are going to use 19.6 as P value, design pressure, which will withstand all the working pressures against 50 class. So how we are going to calculate? If you see here, 4-inch class PD, this is the basic formula which we are going to use to calculate the minimum thickness. These are the values which we have filled, and the calculated value will be 0.81. Now again, corrosion allowance 3 mm if we are taking, which we'll get from fluid list. Mil tolerance 12.5. So C1 and C2, these are the two allowances which we are going to add into this. So we'll get the final value 4.35. Now this is the minimum value adding the allowances. 431. Now this is the time when we are going back to 36.10. Again, if you see, this is a dimensional standard 36.10 for carbon steel. We have calculated minimum required 431. If you see here 435, we are getting schedule 30. Okay, so this is how we are going up to reaching up to schedule. We are going to standardize this thickness. This is thickness which we have calculated considering all the allowances, all the factor of safety, everything. Now against this particular calculated thickness, we are getting 744.78 schedule 30. So this is standard one now. Okay, schedule 30 we have reached, we have received from this table. So this is how we are going to get the standard values of wall thickness. Now this is what we have done based on class calculations. Okay, PT rating we have used, we have get the value of minimum working pressure, design pressures from PT rating, and we have reached up to this value. Now this is okay up to particular size range. Suppose you are calculating for 60-inch pipe, okay, and you have considered all these factor of safeties. So this pipe thickness will be around 30 mm, 28 mm. Okay, now that will not be optimized one. This will be very high thickness, heavy material, weight will be more, cost will be more, and as a design engineer we have to optimize those things. So how we can do this, how we can reduce this value? Now we have taken this up to this size, this temperature range. We need to discuss with process what is the maximum working pressure temperature range. So particularly for that we can reduce this value drastically. Okay, even if you reduce it by 20%, these values will come down drastically. So more this come down, and if we can prove it is safe considering all the allowances, then we can bring down the cost. So those calculations are based on line condition. So design pressure given in line list after getting approval from process and metallurgy, sometime we can reduce the pipe thickness. Once we reduce the pipe thickness, this is a major part where we can optimize the cost, but we need to take confirmation from client as well as from process. So these are all the calculation based on class conditions, and line conditions we can use to reduce the cost and thickness. So we are doing nothing in line conditions, we are reducing the design pressure and particular range of temperature. So that we have to take from process, and we have to optimize the thickness, especially for higher sizes. This is a 4-inch, so nothing much will be there. So we can always optimize using line conditions. So this is all about pipe calculation thicknesses, all 31.3, 16.5 and 36.10. How we are going to refer, how we are getting up to the P value here, everything we have discussed. So this is how we can calculate the pipe thicknesses. As you know, recently we have published a piping engineering topic clickable ebook where all these topics have been captured. Against each topic we have given a subtopic, subcategory, and against each subcategory there will be a question list here, against which we have answer section here. Once you select the topic, any of the topics, you will get the subcategory, and against subcategory questions will be there. And to get the answer, you just have to click here to get up to the particular video lecture where you can get the details of particular section. So it will be very easy to navigate through this YouTube channel. That is the only purpose of creating this ebook. So that is available in the description. You can download that book and you can use it as per your convenience. So everything you can, all the social media links are mentioned here. You can endorse me on LinkedIn. Okay, you can subscribe clicking here. So there are so many interesting things mentioned. Personal messages there, future topics, few self-improvement topics are there. So you can go through each and every topic in at a single place. So that is the only agenda of creating this ebook, which is available in the description box. So thank you for watching. Stay tuned. I hope you enjoyed this video, and many more are on the way. So see you soon.